think you are more Scottish. I thought I got 2 Cedarine, but I got baffled. Oh my god, that's hilarious. I'm so sorry. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 ya ya, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 lo, ay ay ay, ya la la ya ya, ya la la ya yo. Ay, 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 yo. Ya la la, ay, yo. La la, ay, ay, yo. Ya la la, ay, yo. Ya la la, ay, yo. Ay, ay, ay. Ya la la, ay, ay. Ya la la, ay, yo. As we sing, I'm going to invite you, please, to come closer if that feels possible. We will not call on you to do anything. But I do invite us, please, if you're visiting, if you're here for Kaddish, if there's any, whatever it is that brings you into this space today, please come closer. Please let us form these circles and help bring in Shabbat together. Ya la 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 yo, la la ya ya ya, ya la la ya yo, ya la la ya yo, ay ay yo, ya la la ya ya, ya la la ya yo. There's a beautiful front row right here. And there's a beautiful second row and third row right there. Come closer. Ya la la ya yo. Ya la la ya yo. Ya la la ya yo. Ya la la ya ya. Ya la la ya yo. Shabbat Shalom. Oh, so good to be together. So sweet to be entering Shabbat together. It is a gift to be joining together on Zoom, on live stream, in person here at unceded Dakota land on 50th Street in South Minneapolis. Hello. Welcome to guests who are here for the very first time. And welcome to all of you who choose to welcome Shabbat from this multimodal sanctuary every week. Welcome to beloved Wendy Goldberg and your students from Augsburg. Hooray for you! Welcome to beloved former intern and now rabbinical student Aaron Burke, who is here in the second row in sunshiny yellow. I would love to just invite anyone who's here for the very first time. If you want to raise your hands so we can welcome you. Welcome, 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 welcome. Hi. And is there anyone who's here, either on Zoom or here in the sanctuary, who's here for the first time in a very long time? You get to define what that is, but it feels like, this is a return. Welcome back. Yeah, so good to be together. So my name is Rabbi Ariel. I use she, her pronouns. I have long brown hair, and I'm wearing white tonight. And I'm so grateful to be joined by
Rabbi Joey Glick. I'm using he, him pronouns right now. Similarly, long brown hair, white shirt, dark bottoms as usual. Twinny.
There we go. Yeah, my husband Noam has taken to taking screenshots on Zoom of Rabbi Joey and my outfits, noticing that every week somehow we manage to hit exactly the same shades. We do not plan. It's magic. So as we depart Pesach, I want to offer a midrash that I shared during High Holidays last year. A story that is told about the Israelites, the miracle of the Israelites crossing through the narrowest place into the expanse of the wilderness, which we find in Mechilta de Rabbi Yishmael, which is a midrash on the book of Exodus, compiled in the 3rd century. So in that midrash, we read that the righteous women in the generation that left Egypt were so confident that God would perform miracles that they decided that they would bring drums and timbrels with them, their tools of celebration and praise. So even before they had any reason to trust what was coming, they opened themselves to the possibility that they would find a reason to offer a song of thanks. So I want to invite us to imagine the sound of their instruments, the sound that the instruments made as they walked towards the sea, as they made their careful way through, the quiet heartbeat rhythm of the drums bumping against their backs, the shimmering sound of the tambourines as they shifted in the hands of those moving through that narrowest place. And as we enter Shabbat this week, I wonder what are the tools that we are carrying, the tools of hope and joy and transformation that we hold with us even in the hardest moments. What are the seeds of the world to come that we hold with us through the challenge of Olam Hazeh, the challenge of this world with its struggles and its boundaries? These tools are all around us. They're so close. And I'd just love to invite us to share as we enter Shabbat together. What tool of celebration and praise are you holding with you in this time? So if you want to share in the chat, what tool of joy are you holding with you, even in the moments of struggle and hurt? And I invite you to call out if anything occurs. Song. And more song. Oh, and loud song. Community. Courage. Family. Trust. In the chat, stories. Thanksgiving. Stopping work at 2:30 and relaxing since then. A miracle. Noticing birth and spring is everywhere. Reason. Nice. And literally a drum in the chat. So just let us be inspired by each other's tools. Let us trust that there are tools. If we're like, I'm not sure what it is for me this week. Let us pay attention as we move into Shabbat. What are the tools that we have at the ready for our joy, for our hope, for transformation? Shabbat Shalom. It is my deep pleasure to invite Wendy to join us here on the bima to light candles, and I'm going to invite Dan and Wendy's parents. We have generations of Goldbergs. What a machaya. Our candle blessing is found on page 2. Shabbat Shalom. Let's join in song on page 12. Lechu niranena l'Adonai Nariya Letzoyishenu Nekadem afanav Betoda Bizmirot Nariyalo Lechu neranena l'Adonai Nariya Letzoyishenu Nekadem afanav Betoda Bizmirot Nariyalo Ayalai Ayalai Yalalai Ayo Yalalai Ayalai Yalalalai Yalalai Ayalai Yalalai Ayo Yalalai Ayalai Yalalalai Yalalai Ayalai Yalalai Ayo Yalalai Ayalai Yalalai.
We turn to page 13, last paragraph on the page, the words Yismechu.
Yismechu Hashamayim Yismechu Hashamayim Yismechu Hashamayim Metagelat Yismechu Hashamayim Yismechu Hashamayim Yismechu Hashamayim Metagelat Yiramayam 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 Umelo Yiramayam 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 Umelo Yiramayam We'll continue together on page 17, the last little stanza, as we lift it up. Whatever we're holding, whatever joy, whatever aching, let us lift it and make it an offering. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu veishtachavu lehakodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu veishtachavu lehakodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu veishtachavu lehakodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu veishtachavu lehakodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu veishtachavu lehakodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu veishtachavu lehakodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu.
If this week has taken something out of you, if you find yourself depleted on this Friday, this is our moment to call out for strength, the strength laying deep in our hearts and deep in the cosmos. We'll join together on our purple sheets, number 1, with the words of Ana B'Koach.
Ana b'koach gedulat yemincha. Tatir tzerura. Kabel rinat amcha. Sagveinu tareinu nora. Ana b'koach gedulat yemincha. Tatir tzerura. Tatir tzerura. Kabel rinat amcha. Sagveinu tareinu nora. Ay alay, ay 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 oh, ay alay ay oh, ay 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 oh, ay alay ay oh, alay ay oh. גדולת ימינך תתיר צרורה תתיר צרורה קבל רינת עמך סגבנו תרנו נורא. So we turn together to page 20 for Lecha Dodi as we welcome Shabbat. Our tradition here at Shir Tikva is, and wow, it used to be, it feels so scary to do when it was blizzarding and hailing on us, and now we can throw open our doors and windows with joy. So if you're at home, please feel free to open doors and windows, wave to your neighbors, and sing them a love song for Shabbat. If you're here on 50th Street, when we get to the 9th verse of Lecha Dodi, you're invited to join us out, either welcoming Shabbat here in the sanctuary, we'll rise in body and spirit, or to move through those doors onto 50th Street, where we will greet Shabbat outside.
Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'diborecha nishmi'anu ha'miluchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad leshem u'tiferet ve'iti lalecha
Dodi
likrat
Kala
B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelchaki mechor haberacha merosh mikedem nesucha sof mov maaseh b'machshava techila lecha dodi likrat B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Migdash melech melucha kumi tzei mitoch hafech rahla shevet be'emecha Yachamo alaychem lalecha
Dodi
likrat kala B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shai betalach mikora eshigela lecha dodi likrat kala
Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lo tevoshi velo tikami matishtochachi umatemi bach yechesu ani ami ונבנתה עיר על תלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. פני שבת נקבלה. והילים שיסוף שוסייך ורחקו נבלייך יסיס עלייך אלוהייך כמסוס חתן על חתן. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. פני שבת נקבלה. ימין ושמאל תפרוצי ואת אדוני קריצי. היד איש בן פרצי ונשמחה ונגילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצהלה. תוך אמונה עם סגולה בואי חלם בואי חלם. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה.
Lecha dodi likrat kala pene Shabbat nekabela. We will start our schmoozing time. Folks can be seated. We'll take the next 4 minutes to greet folks around us. Feel free to say hello if you're looking for quiet. The Oneg Hall is a great place to be. We'll come back together in 4 minutes. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back, conspicuous people outside. We move from like singing for song's sake and singing for joy's sake into singing for nighttime's sake. You can find the beginning of our Marif service on page 28. We'll rise in body and spirit to welcome in each other into prayer. Baruch et Adonai Hamevorach. You can be seated. Oh my gosh. Chain effect. Fortunately, my sermon isn't soaked. Sorry. We turn to page 30. And before we have an opportunity to bless the nighttime, I'd love if we could take a moment to notice the changing color of our outdoors, no longer deep darkness at this hour. Paying attention to wherever you are in our physical or virtual spaces. What does the light look like tonight? What shadows is it casting? What colors do you see around you? We take a big breath in and out and bless.
אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב הרבים.
Turning to page 32. We take a moment to bless in our heart all those moments of love and connection and support that we've given and that we've taken in over this last week. Let's breathe those in together and out.
כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו והם נגי יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל.
Standing, if it's your tradition, on page 34 for the Shema. Shema.
בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם כראשים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמן.
Turning to page 40, as we leave our Passover observance behind, we get to continue singing these songs of Pesach, of passing out and through Egypt together, and get to remember for 50 days from now when we get to re-enter these words in fullness.
מלכותך ראו בניך בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים זה ליאנו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גל ישראל.
We'll turn on page 42 to the words 3 lines down, Ufros Aleinu Sukat Shlemecha. We're in a season of transitions in all sorts of ways. As our head rabbi heads in the direction of parental leave, B'Sha'ah Tovah, as our seasons change, as we and or our kids move towards the end of an academic year, as we sing these next words, let's take a moment to find the shalom, the peaceful stillness in the heart of all the swirling change. Ufros aleinu sukat shalom echa ufros aleinu shalom echa ufros aleinu sukat
Let's rise in body and spirit on page 44 as we sing Vishamru. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. We'll start our quiet prayer on our literal or figurative feet tonight. We'll find the beginning of the Amida and we'll start together before going into quiet on page 46.
Yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. V'imru, amen. We take time now to pray for healing of body, healing of spirit. So as I look around the room, I'm going to invite you to share names aloud, to share names in the chat. If you want to call out a name without me looking at you, that is so okay. Just let's fill this room up with people who are in need of healing. May our prayers be answered. Tonight we're praying for Elna Refanala, Elna Refanala, Elna Refanala, Elna Refana, Elna Refanala, Elna Refanala, Elna Refanala.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. I want to give a quick caveat before going forward. I want to note that all making fun of parents done in this Devar Torah, in this drasha, is done with consent and no malice. My partner Adele, in attendance today, Adele, refers to my dad as a secret, interesting person, as in a person who appears to be remarkably normal, but is in fact wonderfully weird. Most of my conversations with my dad start with the words, "Joe, I got a story for you." What precedes strains the definition of story, often centering on the high score of a bowling league or the low score of a golf friend, or honestly, vice versa. I get the scores mixed up in those two things. And every once in a while, out of the plethora of quote-unquote stories emerges something closer to what I would call a story. Several years ago, several days into a long bike trip, my dad casually mentioned to me that he's had a daily meditation practice for the last 45 years, including the 18 years that I lived under his roof. I had no idea. "How didn't I know about this?" I asked. "Oh, you were asleep," he replied. "I'd usually be up at 5 a.m. and would repeat the mantra that the Hare Krishna monk gave me in 1971. Wait, what's your mantra?" I asked, incredulous. I can't tell you that. I can't tell anyone that. But I can tell you the secret of my putting game. Again, baffling and secretly interesting. I've been thinking about my dad's daily meditation practice this past week as I've been studying the regular practices of the Kohanim, the Israelite priest in our Torah reading, Shemini. In the words of the Parsha, we hear about the ordination ceremony of these priests, and namely that the ceremony took Shemini days, 8 days. In a comment on this lengthy ritual, Ibn Ezra, a medieval commentator, notes that each morning of the stretch, Moses would single-handedly assemble the entire Mishkan, the entirety of our mobile desert sanctuary, and each evening, solo, just Moses, he would take it all down. This was no small task. We've spent most of the last month and a half of Torah readings describing the complexity of this structure, and somehow Moses was attending to the daily creation and deconstruction of this complicated thing all by him lonesome. At first glance, there's something, for me, very sweet about this image of Moshe. I think about my dad trying to avoid waking up the household as he got his oatmeal started and began his morning sit. I imagine Moses similarly sneaking past his sleeping people, trying to not drop a tent post or a bronze menorah, with practice and precision assembling the holy center of his community. However, some of this sweetness starts to dissipate and my anxiety starts to rise when I shift my perspective on the scene, when I cast myself not as the happily sleeping Israelites, but instead as Moses. I'm struck by the image of every day needing to reconstruct holiness, of rebuilding and reconstituting the heart of community. It feels similar to the awareness in relationship, in any close friendship, that a relationship cannot survive only on initial attraction and inertia. Rather, our close relationships depend on the regular flow of messing up, of expressing hurt, of working towards repair. All of this exhausting deconstructing and reconstructing the core of who we are. I feel like I've learned so much about this flow in this community in Shir Tikva, from hearing about the many ways we've been rocked over the past several years. How so many in this room, virtual room, physical room, over the past many years have made the conscious decision to deconstruct and reconstruct again. How so many hands have physically and spiritually rebuilt the sanctuary. What I have learned, I think, is that this work is profoundly holy and profoundly hard. I want to end today with some wisdom, I think, on this hardness. Coming from two sources. One is back to our medieval commentator, Ibn Ezra, and the other is forward to preschoolers. Ibn Ezra, who told us that Moses was rebuilding the Mishkan each of these 8 days, notes that the prophet was doing this heroic task for a reason, Kidei lehargil bo ulilamed. Moses would build so as to train and teach. As his body aged, Moses knew that this work would pass on to the priests and to the people. And so I have to revise my image a little bit. It was not Moses working alone, unseen by the sleeping people. Rather, Moses had an audience, maybe just a small cadre of people who heard the noise of the construction and peered out to learn from their leader. As I consider how they learned, how this audience learned through watching, through repetition, I'm reminded of the words of an early childhood educator friend after finishing their first year of teaching. That year was one of quiet, sometimes not so quiet repetition, of getting a dozen kids in and out of a dozen coats and 24 shoes, one of which was always missing, of helping the same kid each day remember to eat rather than smush his grape. At the end of this year, my friend had a revelation. Each daily task in their own life, everything that they and other grown-ups do without thinking, tying a shoe or washing a plate, giving a hug, all of these skills exist only because we were raised around a village. If we were fortunate, a village of loving caregivers, of parents and teachers, of people repeatedly teaching us how to be in the world. We forget so much of this. We do not remember how or when our hands and hearts learned their wisdom. Instead, we simply do, guided by a host of invisible teachers behind us. My friend's wisdom is my hope this week. The work of folding up and rebuilding our lives and community, our sanctuary, it will never be easy. But if we are lucky, if we get to witness our teachers do the hard stuff over and over, if we gradually mimic their motions and make our own the tasks of living, loving, and becoming, these tasks, they become our own. Without knowing the source of our strength and craft, we wake up early and rebuild our world. Shabbat Shalom. We'll bless things out on our purple sheet. You can find the words on page 3. This is an opportunity for our community to bless each other, to do that work of rebuilding. Feel free, if you came here with someone or if you're on a Zoom screen, to get cozy with folks. Get close with consent of those around you. And Zoom friends, please start queuing up your bracha. Hamalach hagoeloti, Hamalach hagoeloti mikora, Yevarech et hanaharim, Vayikra behem Shemi, Vishem avotai, Vishem avotai, Avraham veYitzchak veYigdul harav, veYigdul harav, Bekerev haaretz. Yizmechem Elohim gezara kerivka karachalu chelea keEphraim v'chi Manashe. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Yaher Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yaseh lecha shalom. Yedaya, 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 May we join in the hard, holy work wholeheartedly. May we always continue to learn and to teach others. May we not leave behind the most vulnerable in our communities. May we each be those, quote, invisible teachers who build and strengthen this unique community. May we continue making and remaking the community together. May we always find support in community. May we find peace in the repetition of making and remaking our lives and traditions. May we continue to learn from our preschoolers. May we always learn from the Dvar Torah. May we always find humor even amongst the hard times. May we slow down to smell the flowers and jump in the middle of the muddles. May we carry on the work of those who came before us and taught us, even if they didn't realize we were learning from them. May we find the strength to sometimes stay in connection and community, even as there is pain. May we honor our boundaries and our needs. May we be able lovingly to embrace those who did not grow up surrounded by a loving village. Everybody is full of such amazing blessings tonight. Ken yehi ratzon yedidai
So beautiful. I will begin to conclude our service on page 284. Please rise in body and spirit.
You can be seated. In a moment, we'll say the words of the Mourner's Kaddish on page 294. I'll read a list of the names of folks in our community that have died recently or have died at anniversaries of this time in years past. I'd invite anyone who hears the name of a loved one to feel free to raise their hand or otherwise flail, and we'll come find you with a microphone and would love to hear just a sentence or two of story about your loved one. After I'm done reading this list, there will be time also to say the names of anyone who we didn't know to say today, and similarly, you can feel free to share their story. Tonight we're in the Shloshim, the first 30 days of death, for Hank Henry O'Candler, father of Jenny Kahn.
So my dad passed away at age 93, almost 30 days ago, and it is a little bittersweet that the Holocaust Remembrance Day is this coming Monday. Well, first of all, there's two ways that I always remembered his birthday. First of all, he was 30 when I was born, so I always add 30 when I can remember how old I am to remember how old he was. And he did the same thing. He subtracted 30 to remember my birthday. The other thing is that he was born the same year as Anne Frank in 1929. He grew up in Europe, and he went from Germany to England on the Kinder transport. And, he never considered himself a Holocaust survivor. And he said, I was never in a concentration camp, so that disqualifies me. And if I challenged him, I said, well, Dad, I don't think the Holocaust is only defined by concentration camps. He just shrugged his shoulders, which was one of the very few times that he didn't debate something with me.
We're also in the Shloshim of Roman Handel, father of Beth Handel, and father-in-law of Adam Trachtenberg, and grandfather of Isaac and Reuben. Victor Rosenthal, beloved member of this community. Anita Dinnerstein, founding member of Shir Tikva and beloved friend. Lois Gordon, aunt of Pamela Gard. And we're remembering the anniversary, the yahrzeit of the death of Joe Adele Edelman, Deborah and Dora's parents. Marvin Antowaski, Janice Gepner's uncle. Nella Lubin, Kate Weiss's dear friend.
Kate, are you here? I didn't think so. I just want to say that Nell loved being outside. She loved her wife. She loved her family. She loved Kate. She loved being a godmother to Millie Kinney. And the story I want to tell is that she was conflicted about whether she was a good enough Jew. And she grew up as a little kid, a little girl in Chicago. She was petite. And she was really, really drawn to these old people sitting by themselves on the stoops or at the chess tables. And she would go and sit there and she'd listen to them. And they were survivors from the Shoah. And they, in being listened to her over the years, found a lot of healing. And her yahrzeit is on Yom HaShoah.
Ida Burke, Aaron Burke's grandma.
Ida was an amazing artist, and I also know that she passed on my father's birthday, which is April 10th, and I've shared this before, but the day that he was born, it apparently snowed on April 10th, and the day that she passed, it also snowed. And so this week, we did not get snow. But we might on Sunday, so isn't that amazing? Ida's with us.
Malcolm Brenner, Jeffrey Zuckerman's uncle. Marcel Kamel, Tamar Gedalia's grandmother. Gerald Urwick, Robin Urwick's father. Harold Feder, Wendy Henry's father. Louise Fouchon, Nancy Fouchon's father. Harriet Goldman, Robert Goldman's grandmother. Harry Goodman, Marcia Bethke's father. Edward Greenblatt, Cookie Montgomery's father. Daniel Cohn, Trachtenberg's grandfather. Shirley Kreutz, Barry Epstein's mother. Lawrence Cooler, Ken Cooler's father. Saul Lipnick, Rachel Lipnick's father. The list kills my brain.
That's okay. That's okay. I miss my dad every day. He had an astounding voice, and I think I've said this before. He was the state of Minnesota barbershop quartet champion. And so he could sing lots of things, but interpersonally, he was very shy. But he would get up at Northrop Auditorium and sing for all the music teachers of the state and so on. But I just think of him snacking on hunks of salami, and he loved eating grapefruit.
Adelaide Lipman, Henry Lipman's mother. Charles Manister, Ellen Woltauer's father. Charles Manister, Audrey Lensmeyer's father. Lizalot Matzner, Emmy Higgs Matner's grandmother. Charles Offner, Rabbi Stacy Offner's father. Jean and Florence Ream, Eric Ream's mother and dear friend.
both my mom and Jean would be beaming with pride knowing that so much of their family are here tonight. And they would both say that their cup runneth over. As the rabbi was talking during his sermon, they were both very quiet teachers. Just watching them taught me a lot, and hopefully I've been able to pass that on to some of my family. But I know that I feel that my cup hath run over as well, knowing that I have had the pleasure of being with both of them and having my family be with me.
My mom would have been 75 this year, and that's a lot. She would have said she was 36 for the 39th time. And like my dad said, she would have been so proud that all of us were here tonight to honor her and our grandma also.
Douglas Rochester, Jess Rochester's father. Ruth Rosenblum, Mark Tanz's mother-in-law. Michael Sachs, Glenn Sachs' father. Esther Steinman, Bert Donofsky's sister. Seymour Stye Stroller, Karen Stoller's father. Miriam Weiner, Barbara E. and Phyllis Weiner's sister. Are there any other names that folks want to bring forward today?
Thank you. Last night, my friend Amara passed away. She had a 5-year battle with a kind of cancer that they don't really know what caused it, but she's been testifying with every breath she had left to get the PFAS out of the water, out of the air, off the planet. And on Monday, the bill hits the floor. And if you're available, please go and say, stop, dumping poisons into the earth. There's a hot spot in Woodbury, and the school that she went to, it wasn't uncommon to find 20 kids in the school at the same time with cancer. She had an incredible voice. She sang in cantante and the Minnesota Chorale. And her very last time that she sang was last Saturday at the Minnesota Orchestra doing Haydn's The Creation, which is an amazing performance before the fall. This is like a love story, and she loved that, about that. Dana, her mother, is the Episcopal rector of the Nativity Episcopal Church in Burnsville, and her father is the liturgist at St. Olaf Catholic Church. This is a big deal to many, many communities, and please hold all of us as we try to figure out how to move on and how to hold them. It's devastating for every religious community that they were involved in. And I guess I would say, if you care about something, give it everything you've got. And don't wait until you're dying to do it.
Is this on? Okay, so the miracle of texting and Zoom and stuff, Kate wants everybody to know that Nell Bean loved a good beer and a good laugh, and this is an example of how Nell kind of operated in the world, getting like a second chance for a story and reminding us about some levity in the face of honoring our dead.
My father, James Hawks Sr., he was probably known, if you ask people in the community where I grew up, some of the things he was known most for is making pancakes for my friends, not his friends, my friends. It had to be over an open fire or, in a pinch, a barbecue grill in a cast iron skillet, and it was the size of the skillet, and it wasn't called a pancake, it was called a flapjack. And he was very specific about these things. He loved fishing, and I would have many treasured memories of going with him, thinking it was my job to keep him company, which would result in him saying, "Holly, if you keep talking, the fish won't come." And finally, He loved ice cream. He especially loved making homemade ice cream to the point that no family gathering was allowed to occur without homemade ice cream.
Any other names that folks want to share?
I'm remembering my Grammy, Alice, who died 1 year ago. And she was a very vibrant person and also a very amazing kindergarten teacher. And she taught me that ritualizing morning walks and returning to community are two ways to open your heart. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I'm remembering my friend Laura Gadecki, who died 6 years ago, way too young, and I just remember her as someone who was really audaciously herself in every situation. I just really respected that about her.
Anyone else? Feel free to rise in body or spirit. We'll say the words of our Mourner's Kaddish on page 294. Yitkada v'yikada shemei rabba be'alma divra chirute ve'amlich malchute be'chai echon uvyom echon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael Bagala uvizman kariv v'yamru amen. Yehesh me rabba mevarach le'olam olmei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitrama v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekutsha b'rechu le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata Tush bechata v'nechemata damiram be'alma v'imru amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim alinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imramav hu ya'aseh shalom alinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. We'll welcome up MJ Gilbert for a round of announcements. Oh, Amy Funk, I saw MJ in the wings. Come on up.
You left public speaking.
Shabbat Shalom. It says to introduce myself briefly. I'm Amy Funk. That's pretty brief. Thank you for being with us tonight. It's such a joy to be together. At the end of the service, please return the prayer books to the usher table. If you take out the song sheets and separate them and put them in a separate pile, it'll help me greatly put them away. Thank you to all who made tonight possible: Rabbi Ariel, Rabbi Joey, Gordon, the Macomb Minion, David Bailey, Julie Jacobs, and Lori Sweet. Special thanks to Susan Weinberg for her lecture before services. Thank you to our Shomrim for your steady presence, and our ONIC sponsor, our Sanctuary and Immigrant Justice Committee. Find all of our Share Tikva programming updates in our weekly e-news and on our website. Here's a highlight of upcoming events. One quick highlight, we'll be counting the Omer together on Zoom every Thursday. Some ritual, mystical learning, and sweet time with friends. Program updates. On Wednesday, the upcoming round of adult ed classes was announced. You can find all the information on our website. On Monday, an update on our COVID policy and summer tefillah programming was emailed. The changes go into effect on May 8th. You can find info about the policy and respond to it via the email that went out last week. JAMI returns from Pesach spring break this Sunday and Wednesday. Please remember that your community is here to support you, so please reach out to your rabbis if you encounter a life change so they can activate the Shir Tikva network of support. If you are in need of a ride to services, the caring community would love to help. If you're interested in giving rides, the caring community would love your help. Either way, you can talk to the rabbis or contact the Care Committee via the Care Committee website. Thank you.
Cool. All right. So we will bless our grape juice and challah, then we will count the omer, and then we will go out. Actually, let's count the omer and then we'll bless. How about that? Yes. Smooth. What a transition. Yeah. Okay, here we go. So we're going to pull out our half sheets. I invite you please to rise in body and spirit. For those of you who are like, what is counting the omer? We're in this process of counting the days between Passover and Shavuot, the 49 days that carry us from liberation to revelation. Yesterday was day 8, in case you're wondering what day today is. Leshem yichud Kudsha brichu shchinte Hineni mochana umzumenet Lekayem mitzvat aseh shel sfirat haomer shel sfirat haomer shel sfirat haomer shel sfirat haomer Sheva Shabbatot Temimot tihena Sheva Shabbatot Temimot tihena Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat haomer al sfirat haomer al sfirat haomer al sfirat haomer Hayom tisha yamim la'omer shehem shavua echad u'shnei yamim la'omer gvura shebe gvura. I know, an intense one. Boundaries of boundaries, courage of courage, fierceness of fierceness. Let's go, Shabbos. So I'm going to invite us, we can be seated as we bless our grape juice. If there's anyone who's celebrating a milestone, you don't have to tell us what it is. We'll trust you. But if anyone is like, I'm observing something, this is a special day for me, I'm going to invite you to come up here. Or by day, I mean week or month. Thank you, Alona. As we raise our grape juice. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'vratzon hinchilanu Zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit Ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh Zecher litziat Mitzrayim Kivanu v'acharta Ve'otanu kidashta Im kol ha'amim V'shabbat kodshecha Be'ahava ratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh Shabbat l'chaim. Oh yeah. Okay, great. I'll ask later. Woo! Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon. Shabbat shalom. Yay. So we'll close in song, and then you're invited to join us for the Oneg. Thank you so much to Amy Funk and the Immigrant and Sanctuary Justice Committee. Ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya 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 la la ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la ya oh la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la oh ay 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 ya la oh ay 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 ya la ay 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 Shabbat shalom.